Hi, welcome back. We are at the second outline of Section 2, the philosophy of descriptive and inferential, in Chapter 1, Research and Principle. In this outline, we're going to explore and visualize the meaning of descriptive and transformation. Set up with, I'm going to ask you a question, whether you see any relation between male and female distribution of this community and their age group. Answering this question, you could look at two kind of answer. There is a subjective way of answering the question and objective. If the answer was a stand based on subjective perspective or standpoint of view, there is no right, there is no wrong, because each one of us see what they want to see based on their way of understanding. Now, you could also go further by justifying what you see. But in the world of science and research, actually we try our best to be clearly objective in answering a question. And to be objective, you must start from somewhere. That starting point, it is the point where you try to transform this question into measure things and introduce a method where you convert this into quite tangible way of looking at it instead of just perspective or subjective way. So mathematics usually is used to introduce an objective answer that is solid enough to feel as it is a tangible thing. So this is a very important way for understanding the meaning of descriptive. But to visualize what I'm trying to say, let's look at this example. This is a picture and the question stands still same whether you see a relation between male and female distribution and their age group. Now, how to start? We need to start from somewhere to deliver an answer quite objectively, rather subjectively. So what I would do, for example, if I look at the age, as we said, and then there is a gender distribution, both are actually the center to answer the question. If we would have this age and this is the gender box. So the question whether is there any kind of relation, if I would have to think of three age group, for example, and I want to look if this attribute of gender, because when I have this age group, inside this group, there is a kind of gender distribution here, for example, if I would have like two kind of different genders are just graphed inside this age group. And I could look, for example, at this first age group and then I count down the two green and red dots and I come up with some counting numbers, right? I would say, for example, I have 3 number of green, could be 5, and same things I would do in the second group of 7 and then maybe 2 and so on. So at the end, when you start to read these numbers, and maybe it's better to do graphing age group 1, age group 2, and age group 3. Here there have been 5, and here there have been 3, and so on. This is an amazing way of looking at things to break it down that way. But what I have done here in this simple transformation, I wanted you to look how I took this question, I break it down in that way, and then I further break it down into another way, and then I further did another thing, and then further did another thing. Now, what is this? This is what actually transformation. Now, transformation indicate this particular arrow from one stage to another. I want to take this picture, first of all, and I want to transform it. This is my first transformation. Well, the best way to do that, transfer this picture into numbers. How to do that is what we're going to learn throughout this course, I promise you. But for now, this picture literally become this a huge list of numbers. Well, still hard to look at it. I mean, okay, what those numbers could mean to me. Take this one and transform it again into some other form that easy to look at. This is my second transformation into quite much more easy to read. How about if I take this one and I make one more last transformation? Beautiful graphs, charts. This final image, as we have illustrated actually earlier in the first outline. It's just representative of this. But why this image is important? What is the purpose of this image? Well, this image will help you to answer any question related to this community in what's so-called objective way. And you could see this three transformations have given me a solid, tangible, in a sense, way of justifying my answers. And of course, don't forget that this transformation involves collection of the data, the organization of the data, analysis of the data, and then graphing of the data. All these steps are involved. So you could see it is an immense system. It's a beautiful system that if you master, at least in a perceptual way, you will be able to introduce better answer to your research question. So to come up to conclusion, descriptive, it's a kind of a transformation, and it is the process to collect, to organize, to present data and quickly and easily describe the data. And of course, take advantage of that by transforming one more time into a graphical way. So I hope at the end of this outline now, the 3T stages of transformation from source to numbers, and then from numbers to some sort of summary, and then to graph, it's quite clear to you. And the purpose of doing so is to create an objective answer to your research question. I'm not saying that subjective way of answering question is something I disagree with, not at all. But what I'm saying is, as a scientist, I like to be quite objective in the way I answer my question and in the way I construct my own understanding or perception of things. So I hope this a visual and philosophical introduction to the meaning of descriptive is quite clear. I will see you in the last outline of this section, and that is to look at inferential and generalization. See you then.